Action. Hello everybody, Ed here. Going to be talking about the TR45L radio once again, but this time there's no 2x4s underneath it like a previous video. Reason is that this is the TR45 Lite skinny version. Very skinny. So you know, it's just, that's it. That's the whole rig right there. Everything. Now, the main differences between this version and the other version is this does not have the built-in tuner, nor does this have a built-in battery. So therefore, I have my Bioenno battery, and I have my ZM2 tuner that I use with this radio. And we're going to go ahead and do a demonstration on this radio, just like we did on the other radio, as I remember to get my coax over here, so I'm making all kind of noise in the chair. But please, give me a like, share, subscribe. Talking about the TR45L, let's go ahead and flip it over to the back. Nothing to talk about other than a fantastic speaker. Fantastic. The other version has the speaker on the side. This version, the speaker comes out the back. I find that these TR45L radios have some of the best sound that I've heard in all of my radios. So now we'll go ahead and we're going to start on this side, move our way across. We'll touch on all the buttons again just in case you didn't happen to see my other video that I made on the full-size TR45. So plugging this in. All right. And I just won't hook up an antenna just yet, so we'll turn that power all the way down. Turn this on. All right. Starting on this side, underneath the handle here, there is a switch, and that dims and brightens our panels. So that way, if it's a high amount of sunlight outside, you can definitely see what's going on. Not a problem at all seeing these windows. Mine's always in the dim mode. Even on the high sunny days, there's enough contrast to that screen that I could read them both. This meter, by far, is probably one of the hands down best features of this radio. Starting up here, after the dim switch, we go to this meter, the analog meter. It tells us a few different things. One of the things it tells us, when we press our key, that needle comes up and it will tell us our forward power out, and we can adjust our forward power here with this knob. If we want to see our SWR, we flip that switch, press down our key, and if that needle lays flat, the flatter it lays, the better our SWR is, or the lower our SWR is. And then you can just slowly start moving up your power, press your key, move up your power, press your key, ensuring that you're keeping your low SWR there in case you need to tune if you're using a tuner. I usually use a resonant antenna, and I find some days I have to just adjust the antenna differently according to humidity, ground, is it wet, dry, whatever. I do find changes, but it's very easily adjustable, and it's very easy to see it on that meter. Lets me know when my SWR is a little higher than normal, and maybe I need to tweak my antenna just a bit. All right, so we've covered the meter. We've covered the reverse and forward switch. So forward out for power, reverse back for SWR. We've also covered the transmit power knob. So over here is all the way to nil, and then we can crank her all the way up. Now I've noticed on the higher bands, when I'm going through my tuner here at the house, I'm getting almost 10 watts, 9 watts out of this radio, but it is designed for 5. So when I press my key down and it pegs that needle when I'm on forward, I'll drive it back or drop it back a little bit to get it on 5 watts, because it is designed for 5 watts. So I don't want to sit and transmit it way over power. And that transmit knob being right on the front allows me to do that without having to get into a menu. Next thing over here underneath this analog meter is this switch. If I want to record a message, I flip it and it will say record dit or da. So all I have to do is get on my paddle and I can hit dit, and it will actually play a number 1 in Morse code, and then I can send my message. Right, CQ, CQ on message number 1. And then after I get done doing that, I hit it again, and I can hit da, and it will play a number 2 in code for me, so I know that I'm going to record the da side, and then I can play my Roger Roger thanks 73 message, or 72. If I want to play those messages, I hit play. Let's get this power down all the way. Hit play, and I can hit dit or da, and it will play that message. And if you go to play, and just before you hit it, somebody's calling you, you can cancel that out by hitting that button again. There you go. So that's your record and play. It will hold up to 2 memories for you. Underneath that is your keyer speed. You can rotate this knob. As soon as you do, your keyer speed immediately shows up in the window. You can take that down to whatever your comfortable speed is for sending. And this will go from 4 to 40 words a minute. Okay, moving over here is your RF gain. Kind of acts like a good volume knob. Okay, you also have a notch filter. Okay, not sure how well that's coming out through the speaker, and I'll hook up an antenna here momentarily, and we'll do that again. This switch that's in the middle, if you get to a frequency and you don't want to bump your knob and change your frequency, well, press up and it puts the dial lock on. So now you can move that knob and nothing will happen. You need to unlock your knob, press it right back up. Now if you hear a signal and you want to know, are you on the same frequency as that signal? Well, you do this. You can, and at 0 beats, it also gives you an indicator of your battery power as well. And in the end of that meter, it tells you. So a third function yet of that analog meter. SWR, forward power, and battery. Wonderful piece of this radio. So that covers our dial lock, our spot check, and our battery check switch. Next, our notch filter, we covered that briefly. Our VFO knob, it places a cursor right now underneath the number 0. I can press the knob and it will move the cursor back and forth. I can press and hold the knob and it moves it out here to the bigger number so that I can make more bold adjustments. What I really like about this knob is if I'm not on zeros and I go to that big adjustment, and I make as soon as I turn that knob, it puts me to zeros. So I like that I don't have to keep going back and redoing this. I can just make my big adjustment out here, press my knob, and then make my small adjustments. It's very fast. I love that function of that knob. Our volume knob, down here is a headphone jack, so if you want to plug in headphones, you can. Power, of course, on and off. This is your band select, so right now I'm on 20 meters. I go to 17, I go to 80, 40, 30, and back again to 20. So there I am on 20. I'm on VFOA. I can go to VFOB, VFOA. Up here, our receive mode. I can go to narrow band or CW wide. I can also use this as a RIT. I can go up and then I can adjust my RIT to the plus or to the negative. And I want to turn the RIT off, hit the switch and it's back off again. So everything right there, no menus at all. And then on the side of the radio, your antenna connection, power connection, this is your CW side tone adjustment knob. Now your side tone is how loud do you hear your own key. I love that it's right here on this radio so that when I'm sending, I can reach up and just adjust this knob, because the side tone volume does go with your volume knob. It will go up and down with how loud your volume is, but then you can instantly turn it either back up or down with the side tone adjustment knob. Everything right in front of you. Nothing hidden down inside that radio anywhere. All right, let's go ahead and hook up an antenna to this. And see if we can tune around and hear any kind of frequencies here. Saw something in there. Oh, that's yeah. FT, you know what? We don't like to curse on our channel, do we? Where'd he go? Come on. Now that's on CW wide. Narrow. And I forgot there's even another audio filter over here to the side. Tightens it way down there. Your notch filter. Use our RF gain. Just in case that signal's really strong. We all probably know who that is on 14.047.5. There we go. Let's go see if we can find somebody else here. Pretty quiet out there today. And you see how much that filter and then that audio filter brings that way in there. All right, now let's talk about our key, getting our key on here. Let's go ahead and go up. 14114. You know, it's probably going to change now that I think about it. I'm going to go ahead and use my male-to-male plug. Now this is a bit of an ugly end here. This is a field repair for me. I daw backwards. One thing that the radio doesn't have, it doesn't have the ability, well, not that I know of. I might have to, there might be something on the inside that will flip my dit and daw. I don't know. I need to get with John, the maker of this radio. And I'm going to plug in the I'm going to plug in the straight key. No, I'm going to plug in the, paddles. There we go. I'll plug in the paddle. But what I will do is, I'll just plug this part in, plug that in, plug that into the straight key, and then we'll go ahead and break out our paddle here. That's my Frank box. A fellow named Frank made that for me. Holds my Bamatech key. Nice 3D printed box. Slides in and out of there like a matchbox. That's pretty loud. That's my Frank box. This is the TP3 key. And then this is just a jeweler's block. And I got this thick one because if you look at how low these are to the bottom of the thing, I got this thicker block. So if I do want to set my key down, I can put it right on there, and it keeps them up and off of the floor. This is 7/8 of an inch thick. That block is, right? So it keeps them up off the floor pretty good, or up off the desk. Now a lot of times when I'm portable or mobile, I'll be holding this in my hand. So let's go ahead and plug the key in. Now we're plugged into the straight key slot, and I do that on purpose, and I'll show you why. We'll turn on the radio. We're on 14067. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go up to 14114. Give it a listen. I always like to listen for a minute. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to reverse, turn my key up about halfway. I'm going to press my button here and see what my SWR looks like. Let's turn up my side tone so you can hear it, hopefully. I notice my reverse is way down there. Now how much forward do I have? Oh, it's pegging it. So I'm going to draw it back to about 5. Back to reverse. Good. This light will come on if you're above 2-to-1 SWR. Okay, now that I've done this, go ahead and plug it into here. And now we can transmit on our key. Oops. Now, here in a minute, I'm waiting on my phone to kind of ding because I'm on my own ham alert, and that will let me know if I'm getting out. Okay, I hit my own ham alert. And if my own key was loud, I can always come over and turn it down. Always adjust your RF gain at notch. Audio filter doesn't do anything when you're on wide, but you can go to narrow instantly. See, that's a little loud, so we can always back that up. And now let's take a look. Let's see if I can get my phone open here, and I should have the reverse beacon page saved to my phone, and we'll give it a good look to see where we're hitting. Well, that's not too bad. Costa Rica, Canada, way up there to the north, Maine. Yeah, way up in there. 20 dB, 25 dB. So, pretty good. Now I'm on my hex beam antenna, you know, so I guess that makes a difference, of course. All right, so there we go on that. Now it is daytime, so a 40 meter check would be a little odd, but let's go ahead and show you how I use this tuner with this radio. So let me cut this power off. All right, so let's go ahead and just turn the radio on. And let's go ahead and change our band now. Go to 40. Okay, so I'm on the 40 meter band. Now, what I want to do with this tuner is I'm going to flip this tuner to operate, and I'm going to move these two knobs to get the highest amount of noise coming from the rig. So bear with me through the noise here. Okay, that's right around kind of a higher noise. Now, hopefully you can see this light right here. And now that I've done that, I'm going to go to tune. I'm going to turn down my transmit power a little bit. And I am going to plug my key into the straight keyhole. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to switch frequencies. Let me go up a little higher. You know, might have to do this part again. Alright, so watching this light bulb, I'm going to press my key here. Okay, I'm not seeing it light up. Maybe we'll move it out of tune and see what happens here. I guess let's flip the tune and try it. And my needle's laying flat. You can't see that because of the glare. Get something underneath here. Just hold that up. So another reason I love this needle. Let's go to forward. Oh, we're not getting any power out either. So that's okay. Now it's lit up. Now let's go to reverse. Okay, and let's adjust that. It looks about as dim as it's going to go. So I'm going to go to operate. I'm going to watch my meter. I guess somebody's answering me. What's my forward power look like? Yeah, we're getting about 4 watts. 5. Okay. Ugh, I got no paper. I'm still in the straight keyhole. Well, unless you're getting a live show here, folks. All right. Well, so you get an idea there how I used the tuner there. Basically, the light didn't go all the way out this time. However, I did notice that when I flipped my meter over to SWR and I keyed down, I was able to watch my meter over here, and it laid pretty flat. And again, this light will come on if it's over a 2-to-1, and then that needle right there will come up as well. But we noticed that my needle is flat, my light didn't come on, even though that light was on. So this is just another reason why I like this analog meter, because if I didn't have this meter, or if I didn't have an SWR reading in my rig, and I'm out there operating, and I don't want to damage my radio, I would be trusting this little light to go all the way out, or trying to make it go all the way out. But this shows me that it doesn't necessarily have to. And again, all I had to do is go to operate, move the knobs to the loudest noise, flip it to tune, key down, move these until the light goes out or dims. Once I got the dimmest point of the knob, back to operate, and then go ahead and operate, turning up my key to get my 5 watts there. Well, there we go. But anyway, this is the TR45L radio. I think that guy sent my call sign back now that I think about it. And K8JD, so possibly an Ohio or Michigan call. So not bad. And now that time I was on a off-center fed dipole that's hanging off the side of my tower outside. I flipped my antenna switch over there. And there you go. Hopefully this answers a lot of your questions on the TR45L radio series. There's not a lot of traffic on these radios, and I think that's a crying shame. The large radio that I had here on the desk, I actually passed that on to someone else and sent it to another YouTuber. Please tune in his channel, K2EJT. Evan is his name, K2EJT. Long Island CW Club instructor, has a great YouTube channel where he puts up some good POTA activations, but he does a lot of really good videos on QRP rigs and comparing rigs. Now, I don't know if the TR45L will get a good showing from Evan or not. I do know that Evan and people like Evan like to hike in and do a lot of that kind of stuff. So they really go for the small packages, you know, getting their whole radio antenna, their kit, all into one smaller package. And this radio could be a bit large when they compare this radio to all their others. I mean, this is probably twice as large as the rigs that they're showcasing a lot of the times, but it's not that heavy. And to me, number one, the lack of menus. Everything's right here in front of me. That's number one. But no, scratch that. Number one is the audio. The audio quality of the TR45L and the TR45L Skinny is second to none in Ed's opinion. But you know what? That's why I sent that radio to Evan. I would like him to put it through its paces, do a POTA with it, throw it on his table when he's doing the rig versus rig comparisons, and see what all he takes the goods and the bads from his opinion. And that's what I really love about YouTube, and the ability to collaborate on YouTube and share ideas. And then when Evan gets done with it, he's going to send that rig to Aaron, W4ARB. And then he also has a great YouTube channel, and he's going to run through that rig as well. And then one more before everybody goes. There's a YouTube channel out there. Now, you know what? I'm just going to put down his call sign. KD7DUG. Radio and Garage? I think it's Garage. I subscribe to him, so I don't really pay attention to that second name. But KD7DUG. His name is Doug. He's out in California. But he does some really great videos. Like, he does the thing where he walks past the thing and he goes up hiking to these summits. And he's a little shy on subscribers. I'm happier than I don't know what. I crested 1,000 a couple weeks ago, and I was just like, wow, finally, woohoo, 12 years. But he's still struggling on the subscribers. So if you're here, please go look up KD7DUG, and then remember those others as well. W4ARB, and that's W4ARB, and also K2EJT. Let's go give those guys some likes, subscribes, and watch their videos. These two guys are going to be showcasing or using the full-size Pentec, and I'd like to hear their thoughts on it. My thoughts, honestly, when I put the two together, this knob is everything for me. Not having the side tone adjustment knob was tough. My full-size Pentec radio that I had already showcased did not have this knob. After I ordered this second radio from John, I asked him if I paid the shipping, would he put that knob on for me? And he said, oh yeah, you bet. And I was like, hey, great. And he did a quick turnaround. He got it in, put this knob on the other radio, but it's located back here underneath all the other knobs. That's just where it is. I like this radio because when I'm operating my key, if I have it on my block, I can reach up, adjust that volume, and then keep going, because these two kind of work hand in hand together. So it's nice that they are side by side. So my preferred radio, I would think, is the skinny version. And again, there you go. Well, that's my opinion. If you have any questions, you know the deal. Drop them down there in the comments. But please, W4ARB, K2EJT, and especially this guy. He's just getting out there and getting some of his videos made. He takes a lot of time putting in some nice editing and good footage and beautiful mountains out there in California where he lives. please go subscribe to him. And I appreciate you watching. Thanks. I'm Ed, W4EMB.